Hello class, Mr. Garino here. In this video I'm going to illustrate how much text you should have on a slide. People often ask me, how much text should we put? How much do we have to describe? Well, a student did this actually many years ago, and I thought this was a good example, and as I go through it, maybe you'll see why. So right now on his slide, he formatted the background to be a picture of this building. What is this building? To me, it's a building. It's nothing but a building. When I showed this to the class years ago, before we were able to do all this fancy internet stuff with training videos like the one I'm making now, I would have everyone sit in front of the class and I would go through some slideshows and point out the things I wanted, and then they would go off and do the things. And when I went to this slide, we would go through it and I would say, does anybody know what this building is? And every now and then I'd get one student who would say, oh yeah, that's a whatever. And I'd be like, really? You know that just by looking at it? And they were like, yeah. I'm like, wow, I don't know that by looking at it. Okay. So then the way the student animated it was like this. He would have some pictures come out. Obviously, one by one, as he presented his slideshow, he's clicking. And so after these three pictures come out, I would say, okay, does anybody now know what this building is? And a few people would say they knew what it was, and as in being right, a few people being right. Some people would even say they know what the building is and they know what's inside the building by looking at these pictures that came out. Maybe I'm dense, but I look at these pictures, I look at that building, I still don't know what's going on. So then the student would have this come out. Museum of Art. So now I know the building is a museum and I know what's inside of the museum. It's not a history museum, it's a museum of art. And after I see the words, it all kind of comes together. So maybe while watching this video, you knew that was a museum just from the background. And maybe when the three pictures came out, you knew it was a museum of art because these are like art things. But maybe some people don't. So a little bit of text tells you. But notice, a little bit of text, a text box, some nice text. It's got a nice effect on it, little shadow, little change in color, or whatever type of font he liked, right? Museum of Art, just so we know what we're looking at. You don't need to tell people how big it is. You don't need to tell people how many people go there to visit or how much it costs to get in, because our family that's going is very wealthy and they're not going to care how much it costs to get in. One other thing the student chose to tell people was where it's located. It's in Hong Kong. So his slideshow presentation was for sending a family to go to China. So this was one of the places they were going to visit while in China. So it's a museum of art, and it was appropriate to say it's a museum of art in China, obviously, but hey, China's pretty big, so it's a museum of art in Hong Kong. So how much text did you put? This is really enough. Focus on pictures. That's what we want to see. No one's going to sit there and read 3 paragraphs of text. You probably didn't read it. You just copied and pasted from the internet. So if you didn't read it, other students aren't going to read it. I'm not even going to want to read it. Don't waste your time. Don't waste our time. Focus on the pictures. Minimal amount of text. Thank you.